Hello everyone, my name is David Revoy and today we are the 25 April of 2018 and it's my weekly Wednesday live streaming. And today I will do a little speed painting at the picture I posted on social network. I selected speed painting because I worked since 4 a.m. this morning. In a nutshell, it's 10 hours that I do drawing for my Pepper and Carrot comics. And right now I'm doing the last panel, so I don't want to spoil all the story. And I thought it would be a good idea to make a random speed painting for cooling down and also for chatting. So if you have ideas about this speed painting, because I don't have a lot of ideas about it. Of course, I have something in my mind, but feel free to use the comment box and I will look at it. But at first, now it's a little tradition. I will have the question, can you hear me? Because I'm never sure that my microphone and my video is working. And I will open the chat to see your reaction and to see if we are in contact. So up, I can reduce this. I can put a little webcam here. And here is the chat. So, hello everyone. So today I kept the same setting for the live streaming. So it's in HD 1080p. And I saw you will probably hear me a lot hesitating on my English because I'm really tired, but it will be funny for sure. I will open Krita. Oh, I see a lot of familiar nickname on the chat that make me really happy and fill me with energy. Thank you. Thank you for being around. So I'm opening Krita and I will try directly to start speaking at the same time as doing things, because I saw on the last streaming that I talk a lot and don't do a lot at first. I take a lot of time to get into it. So probably the best for me now is to directly jump on something, and I will put the webcam so it's not, my face is not the main topic, but so you can see the tablet I'm working on. It's the same as last week, the large Intuos. Probably see. Yep, you can see it. I have to put the webcam in a very weird position on the screen, on the monitor, so but like that, so you can see also a bit of screen custom keys. Bon, sorry. Yes, the Intuos table. I like this. This nickname. Yes, it's a very huge one. I show it for the one who didn't saw this one on the last live streaming, but yes, and I'm starting to fall in love for this big model. I took it as a second hand because it was really not expensive, and I really liked the design of a very huge tablet like that. But I started to use it and I really like it. So yeah, I like these big things on my table. So to start a speed painting directly, I will probably use another layout. I have my default layout like that. I will put all the brush visible because I probably need a lot of things like that. I have layers, I have an overview, and a palette. Well, probably too many tools on the screen, but that will be okay just to kickstart something. So I'll probably fill with one color. If you're not familiar with the shortcut to fill something, in Edit menu you have a fill with foreground color and it's Shift plus backspace. That's why I'm crossing the keyboard like that to press Shift and backspace. They're on the side of the of the Enter key. And I'm starting with a big texture like that. Oh, I have a question. Aren't you still using your Yuan tablet, David? You know, the one you reviewed some time ago. I used it only one month. This tablet, the driver for Linux wasn't really satisfying. I had a lot of problem with pressure, with the button and everything, so it was experimentation and a bit of a loss of money. But I was happy to make it work because it's not officially supported, and I still have it. Maybe if one day the driver is better or something, but right now I'm still waiting Yuan to do something for the driver, and they do not a lot except sponsoring one of the developer that made the Digimen project. So I'm not using it. It's something I have, but I prefer all the Wacom right now because of the quality of the driver. Can you explain what a speed painting is exactly? Speed painting, it's a very cloudy word because for some people speed painting will just mean just something speedier than what they are used to do. So for some painter who are used to make I don't know, maybe a 3-hour painting, a speed painting will be something of 30 minutes. For painter who are used to make a painting during 40 hours, very long, maybe a speed painting for them will be 5 hours. So it's just a very, very quicker version of a painting that an artist made, in my opinion. But for my point of view, a speed painting is a painting I don't start doing too much line and planning and making my volume, but I directly jump making the color and then fixing it a bit, and of course with a low time budget. For my speed painting, it's about less than 2 hours, between 1 hour and 2 hours. It's not a lot because I usually spend more than 5 or 10 hours on an artwork, so it's not a big budget. So it's just a speed painting. It's a word you can use for everything and nothing at the same time, but it depends the artist. So I'm gonna quick sketch an idea I had in mind. So right now I focus on making like a big vignette, and I still use a lot of texture because I don't want to have line that looks like clean edge right now. And I probably want also, I will duplicate this layer because I'm not sure about the effect I will do, but I'll take this dodge and I take a very saturated color and dark at the same time, like orange, and I put the 1000 pixel, and I will just try to create a light source like that, maybe a bit warmer. This is nice, but too much saturation. It was looking better like that, maybe, yes. And I would try to just extend the corona of light a bit more. I heard the Digimen project is going live again. That's true. The main developer of the Digimen project is active, but it's not full-time active, and he only works on the tablet that he has, and that the one that is interested or sponsored, and that's not the case for my big Yuan tablet. So right now So right now, this painting, yes, there is something with the water. I'm using a blending mode here, a blending brush. My English is so special today. Like that. I'll probably also prepare already here some reflection for, and I will still use this brush. Not bad. I'll probably put also a corona of light, that is the reflection on the water. Like that. And I will cut to get a better line, horizon line here. That looks pretty cool. I'll probably, this effect is too strong, I'm reducing the opacity. Now not strong enough. Yes, that's better. I saw also this brush here specialized into making this type of effect. That adds a little bit of detail. I like that. So I think it's safe to not rely too much on the autosave and give it a name. Speedpainting, streaming, and the date of today, 2010 04 25 underscore Krita document, save. Have you ever seen Bob Ross? Yes, I saw video of Bob Ross. I really like his tone of voice and how his speech was part of the show also. Something that I will never be able to do. So right now I'm just laying down the big shape, and I was thinking of just speed painting like a big fish, like that, with big eyes like that. And there is a fish. I'm not really original because I know that everyone likes this type of fish, but the lantern fish, the fish which has a lantern like that, and I want to get some sort of similar design. So I'm picking the color here and there, and I want to place just like a chair on the forehead, so I will be able to place a character on it, because I want to get and I will put it now because this source of light in front is like a lantern. So I need to probably paint the lantern first, the highlight. Like that probably, or like that. Just a old school lantern design with a tiny candle in it. And something for fishing. I don't remember the name of this object for fishing. In French we name them canne à pêche. I probably know the word in English, but I'm not sure. So if you know A fishing rod. Oh, rod. Thank you. So I drew like a sit on the forehead, but don't like really it. And I probably have to start painting the character. So I want to already put the color of the palette I have in mind. Maybe something more pinky here. And something definitely less saturated like that. Just a weird hat, like a flower, because if it's a fish, it's probably a very small creature. Maybe a small character just. I don't like the tone of the skin. Maybe like that. So yeah, maybe this style is a bit too naked for this character. I need to find like a hood fit. Finally, maybe this character doesn't need a seat or something. Maybe I just need to put a little shape on this big fish, thanks to this light source. So that's why it's convenient to get the light source first for this type of artwork. Doing this type of artwork is always dangerous because you don't do perspective, you don't do proper construction of volume and everything. So it's good to directly get an ambient and a feeling of artwork, but it's often very, very, very difficult to correct it and make it a very final piece. So that's why I'm not using this technique anymore for doing pepper and carrot. It's very quick, but it creates problems that can't be solved later for making a final product. But it's also one of my favorite techniques because it's very, very fun. You can create so many things quickly on the fly. So it's really creative. I will quickly do a mirror. Yep, still like it. And I will start to draw a bit the reflection. So this is the light source coming from here. Will be the light source of the star, of the night. And do you ever paint what you dream? It's a question. Yes, I try because some design or some stuff happening in my dreams looks sometime. It's very awful. It's not every morning, but one time a month or something, I have like a good idea into one dream and I want to paint it. And yeah, I quickly realize, oh, the idea vanish, so I don't have it in mind anymore. Or it doesn't look like what I had in mind. So it's always an exercise of frustration. I prefer to do a quick sketch or just little annotation on sketchbook and reuse just the idea, the word, because the visual are very, very hard to catch. I made this shape, but I don't like it. So just erasing. That's some trial and error process. Just checking what I added. Yep. Is a warm-up drawing painting a good idea before continuing your actual project? It's a very, very good idea. I will just quickly save. I will use the save incremental version, so I keep all the steps. But I want to show you just something that I don't show usually. This is my warm-up. So my warm-up look like that. So there is a lot of random things. It's just quick, tiny drawings. They don't take me much time. I probably jump every 2 minutes to something else. And I just try to aim something in my mind and just render it, and the quicker possible. So I probably have other. Yes, like that or like that. I just take a little brush and I draw. Sometimes it's only 30 minutes and it saves a lot of time in the drawing section after that. But yes, they are not meant to be public. It's not things I draw to be shown on social network or anything. It's just to relax and to warm up. Thank you. Thank you for my crappy sketch. So this creature, I think it's time to start to make sympathetic eyes, because I don't like the look like this. Is too stressful. If I start to paint teeth or anything, it can be really looks like a monster. So I probably, oops, I will repaint them, but I probably want nice eyes like that, looking at the lantern, probably a big fish attracted by light. Maybe getting teeth, because with this size it's probably a big fish that hits some other fish or something. And I need to find some propulsion device. Les nageoires en français. And they are affected by this light source, because yes, but maybe only the tip. This white things is not a good idea, because I probably must do that later with little dot. Oh, thank you, Hannah, for saying that showing the little sketch are very informative. Sometimes I'm drawing some things even more quicker. I will probably show. I'm not sure. I have to check. I quickly convert it. So yeah, it's safe. So sometime warm up for me is thing like that. I just try to make a circle in a circle, and when my hand is not good, it does things like that, or like this type of potatoes, and when my hand start to get better, it makes this type of circle. More dynamic, more smooth, and everything. And then I just draw random things, and I know that I can draw all the day after that. Yes, I use safe because yes, I'm drawing also anatomy just to train, and sometimes you have drawing with part of the human body that belong to anatomy studies. And I don't want to post them in a public streaming because maybe there is kids who are watching it. So now the main frustration is the face of this thing, because we are start to have little detail, and this triangle works a lot. This part is very empty, so I will try to solve it later. But let's try to zoom in and to paint a little bit something. So I will just switch to another type of brush that I like, that makes some line a bit dirty like that. I'll probably just try to get a bit the overall. That the difficulties with speed painting is I have a very stiff pose, and so maybe I should just draw something quickly on the top. It will be easier for me. So I will just put a white overlay just to see better my black line, and I will try like that to draw something, just a character, just a bit more interesting. For example, breaking a bit the symmetry with a pose. Rounded back like that. It's a bit classic, the character a bit bored by the situation. But it works well because it's a long travel. So with this quick sketch, I try to restore a bit of drawing into this speed painting. So here he has a hand, and I have to find a mechanism. I think it could be, I want to that he has a hand like that, his knee here. Here maybe a foot or something, but I want here he handles something that control if this light goes on this side or on this side to control the big fish. So I have to find something creative. I have a little idea. Maybe here on the road, I think, road, I could put like that and like that. So doesn't work. It's not because you trigger something that it moves, but I will find. Oh, just I know it's easier. I'll just change the position of the hand. Up, switching to the previous brush. yeah, with this you can really bend something. Okay, and the tip of the hat. Just naming this sketch quickly. I think now I can remove the overlay, and I will just try to match the color. So just under it, yes, I had this sketch layer. So this light source is interesting, and I probably need to get a little bit of light on the face, but not with this blending mode. Come on, a bit more. So right now there is only the structure of the face. You see the axis for the nose, the eye socket and everything. I still have a lot of expression to do with the eyebrow and everything, but I'm interested by the shape mainly. This character will be my focal point, I think, in this illustration. So it means that even if you draw a big illustration like this, all the eyes will be on his or her position. So there is a question of Lala Collins. Awesome concept, I love it. I know maybe I'm quite off topic, but I was wondering, do you have any suggestion for young artists who would like to make their own first webcomic? My suggestion is just to do it. You do it first. So try to make a first episode, and then you post it on a place where other people can see it online. It can be on channel, on a social network, on a forum, on every place you think it's worth to be seen. And if there is some feedback, you continue. If there is not feedback, you just or you keep doing it to 5 or 6 episodes, and then you change topic. But maybe you'll meet an audience at one moment. There is another question. Does Krita actually run faster on Linux? I have a Wacom companion too, and it's a bit blaggy. I don't know. I don't know, Zapal, because I don't own any Windows at home. I'm on Linux since almost 10 years now, and I saw my last contact with the Windows operating system is because my wife has one Windows machine at work, not at home, and I had to set up something on it, and I thought it's very, very low quality Microsoft product. But I like all the recovery option, snapshot and everything. There is some good tools, but when I tested the file explorer, even the web browser and everything, I saw that all the Microsoft products were not really good quality. You need to download a lot of third-party software on Windows to make things working. On Linux it's not so much better in a way, but at least you can still contribute, do things, etc. So I can't compare. So I start to get the pose like that. Yes, hand here. So time to make some design for the face. So I will put a layer now on the top and just remove quickly the dirty line and everything. Retrieve a bit of silhouette. And start to draw. Trying to choose a tiny brush here. I will keep with this one. Yeah, drawing the eyes. They are tiny on this artwork, but I'm removing also the guideline now. That was my guideline for symmetry. That's always a bit weird to keep them on the process. And for the hair color, probably want something to contrast with the hat. Oh, Zapal say that I may start going Linux too then. Good luck with it. It's not easy. It's not easy, but I think it's worth it. Sorry. If you have a little blog or something and you want to tell a feedback, do not hesitate. The world of Linux distribution is like a big chaos. You have to do your way in it, but once you know your way, it's pretty good, I think. I'm still using it. I saw already a bit of nipples on your warmups. Oh, sorry. Yes, it does happen. What distro do you use now? Kubuntu. Kubuntu 17.10. Yeah, as you can see with the menu, KDE. So far it works really well. I have a lot of tiny bugs, but I can live with them. Sometimes when I delete a file, I have like 2 notifications here. This type of tiny bugs like that. It's more cosmetic bug because what I really don't like as bug is when, for example, if you delete something and the file is not deleted, or it deletes something else or everything, there is no big bug like that. It's little cosmetic bug like notification. So this face is taking shape, but it takes time. Always. Up, removing guideline. Don't like now the position of this shoulder when I see it mirrored. This is because I didn't make a big study of the pose, because I'm doing things on the fly, but that's okay. It's not supposed to be a masterpiece. Hey, I made the same haircut than Pepper. I drew this haircut all the week. That's why. I probably changed for something else because, yeah. I know so many different. So here I will just add a little bit of structure. Structure. It's another keyword that I have a lot of difficulty to say in English. Structure. Structure. I will use a quick save incremental version up. So I started to introduce some dark element into this character, and I increased the contrast. So now I will start to continue shading a bit. I will do the hand and everything later. I just wanted to get a focal point a bit more expressive. And I think yes, mostly of my characters are female. Because I prefer to draw female in general for my character. But I also like to draw characters that are not totally male or not totally female. Probably this character is not here for a little trip. It's getting bored. It's in the middle of the night, so I guess it's a long trip. So we can probably put a lot of stuff on the back of this big fish. Probably carrying a lot of stuff, like a big blanket. Probably some wood. Maybe it's something, a business to carry some wood. That's a I'm trying to tone down the color with a bit of blue like that, so it's not going too much out of the palette, because if I take a color like that, it must have like a big source of light here. That. Yep. I just draw a bit this. What is my main source of inspiration? My main source of inspiration is an old video game that is named Secret of Mana, and it's on Super Nintendo, the Super Famicom, Super NES, and I really like this game. Now if I play to it, it doesn't look so great, it's a bit old school and everything, but I really like the art direction on this game. And so I think I made myself a custom world that is like a derivative of this Mana universe, because I really like it to be inside this type of universe. So my main source of inspiration is looking at this old video game. I really like what I felt at the moment when I was a kid and when I played them. I felt that this universe was very full of inspiration and everything, full of imagination. Oh, thank you, Seawarden. Hello, Gabriel. This is a good question about when to choose a line art and when to not choose. This is because it's a very quick painting, it's a speed painting, and as you can see there is a lot of detail. I will leave like that, and it's a lot of problem. If I want to start to detail this artwork a bit more, it will take a lot of time, because you see I will get a lot of little cleaning issue and everything. So this art style is good if you want to leave stuff like that. So this art style is good to keep only the idea and leave low quality somehow. And when I do the line art, it's when I start to build something more serious, and I want the illustration to get a lot of detail, a lot of HD quality. So I usually start artwork when this one, like this one, when I do concept art for movie or everything, because I just need to communicate quickly the idea, and we are not interested to see how many toes this character has or anything. And when I do line art and I draw every volume and everything, it's when I want to go a bit more technique, when I want to get something more finished. And right now I did a lot of research on Pepper and Carrot to try to find something a bit in between. But even if I want to find something in between, I have to carefully do a sort of drawing before and doing some warm-up. Oh, this is some casted shadow. Yeah, because of the light source. And I started to make this shape because I don't know how this works on this big fish. But maybe this can be metal. Like something rigid and very, with some decoration on the top. Like that, probably. I see a lot of things on the chat, so I have the feeling that I miss a lot of things. Ah, yes, my main inspiration is really Secret of Mana. How does the rule of quarters apply on a comic page? Maybe it's a question for another time, because you are not drawing a comic. Yes, TTO. I think it would be better another time when I have a comic page. I'm not familiar with the name rule of quarter. I know the I know the rule of third for the composition of an image, but the rule of quarter, I will have to search online for this a bit before. David, do you actually make a living, make money with your artwork? Who buys it? Yes, I do make a living with it, with Pepper and Carrot and doing freelancer. I make the two together. Who buys it? Some French publisher and some company. Some company about movies and everything. I do that since 15 years now, so I have a lot of clients in the past and still asking me things, but I try to focus more and more on doing Pepper and Carrot. But for example, in January, in March, and everything, I spend a lot of time doing some freelance work. So yeah, it really depends. So I'm trying to just detail a bit the wood block here, the trunk. I see that it's been like 1 hour, and I'll probably be a bit longer because I'm talking at the same time, but that's not a problem. Probably go for maybe one hour more, or maybe 30 minutes to clean up a bit this artwork. The shadow is a bit too strong. So probably something like that, and then two like that, and add something in leather like that. That does all around the fish. I can't imagine how they fix it, but it must be fun. They do it for horse, so here I'm starting to provide a bit too much detail for this area. I will keep them like that, but I probably have to remove a bit of detail because it depends how I will render everything on this artwork. Sometimes it's better to blur a bit things for just a speed painting. And I will smooth a tiny bit these eyes here. So I start to get a lot of layer for nothing now. And I will just flat all the picture with a shortcut and just duplicate it. It's not a big problem. I had nothing really to save as a layer. That wasn't clean layer, or with flatting I can smooth stuff like that. So a question for Craig from IRC, who asked if this is a new witch. And no, not what I have in mind, but now we are talking about it. It could be a tiny witch of the green magic of Hippia. Oh, sorry, just a tiny witch of the green magic of Hippia. Yes, maybe. Going to a meeting over the sea with another magic, but that could be fun. That can make a great introduction panel for an episode. This type of big creature and character. That. Just trying to find a good silhouette here. So the eyes want to turn around the shape. It's not easy because they're wasn't a lot of drawing before that, so it's just shape, 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 and sometimes it's easy to broke things. Symmetry, there is no perspective, there is no... It's only guessing. It's even a bit weird because now I have like a perspective like that for the character that is clearly defined. And here I have a horizon, but here I don't have. So it's a bit weird, but that's because of the speed painting things. I can probably... I will do it because it's worth fixing a bit the perspective. So I'm just going to my folder right now. Try to take a texture. I will put just a file, drag and drop on the top. And it's a big line of perspective. Not sure if you can see it. I'll put them not in difference, but they are dark. I'll keep multiply. And if I zoom, you can see it's a lot of tiny lines, and I will just try to adapt just a quick perspective grid. It will help me to fix things. Like that, for example. I will name X. I have a preset in my filter here to color directly this type of line in red. And so as you can see, my eyes here is very 2D and I need to adjust to make it a bit more 3D to follow a bit the perspective. So just saving. And I will do a bit of Liquify to bring this size a bit higher. Just to fix a bit the perspective. Yeah, doing Liquify on a big picture like that is very resource intensive, but I don't do it so often, so it's not a problem. Okay, just pressing enter. And now the eyes could be better. For this I will just copy paste. Yep. Now it's looking a bit better for the main shape of the eyes. Just erasing a bit. But for the part inside, yeah, it gives a better sense of the horizon line now. I like that. I also fix here the wood. To follow a bit more this axis. And also maybe a bit the blanket. Okay. So this Control G. I will name perspective. Right click and put in a gray. Yep, screen is good. Oh, I see some comments. Weird perspective is the best. What do you think of using 3D models to help with perspective? I think only good things about that, because I made a DVD about this technique for the Blender Foundation back in 2010. So I use it very, very intensively, this technique. It's good when you have a very complex thing that you can't do with painting, but for doing concept art, I don't think it's really, really helpful, because while doing the 3D model underneath, if it's just for an idea or just for having fun, you overthink the shape at first, and then you have to paint over a 3D shape and everything. So it tends to break a bit the pleasure of the game of painting. But if you have something in mind that is precise and you want to render it with the more accuracy possible, then it's a very good tool. So it's as usual for everything. There is two sides on this word. I don't know if it's an expression in English as well, but to say that or there is two sides on the same coin. There is pros and cons to use this technique. So it really depends what you want to do, in my opinion. I use it a lot for Pepper and Carrot, especially when there is episode in the city or everything. So I'll keep a bit smoothing that. And I will also fix a bit, I don't need perspective now, but fix a bit the corner of this illustration with a big brush. So this big fish has some shadow. It also casts some shadow on the water, like that. And I can use the eraser to make some effect in the shadow. I start to like where this artwork is going. From a distance, this and this is not really visible. And also, this needs more light. Oh, GTK all. Thank you for your contribution on the translation of Pepper and Carrot. Yes, using plain model and box and everything is very good. Oh, of course I remember. So this big fish, now we have a big problem into this illustration. Is this is empty, this is empty, this is not so empty, this has a lot of things inside. And I always like to get some interesting things happening here and here in the corner, because a lot of artists just do a big center of interest and there is nothing around. And I don't think this is really generous to do. If the viewer spend a little time on the artwork, I think it's good to reward with some cool detail about the world. So for the moment it looks a bit boring, in my opinion, but that's also how the artwork is, how the theme of the artwork is it. But I think it can look better. I will probably do a new layer because I'm not sure about this idea. But if I put something floating here on the foreground, that can look a little bit dangerous. So probably this design of mine, it's a like mine for the water, sea mine maybe. I think it can look good if there is everywhere, and it can put a little bit more perspective into this character being bored to guide this big creature into a field of mine. Trying to add some funny stuff in it. Sputnik. So because I'm making a new object like that, I'm just painting the shape, as you can see on a new layer, and I will put the protection for the alpha. It's this icon, so I can quickly paint inside it and protect all the other part, because it's a spherical object and it should react to this light source, so it's not really easy to get it at the first. And also I like to have to get this object a very low value, like almost this black. It brings the object in the foreground. It's really interesting. Maybe like that. And then I have to fix the parts that are not in front of the light source. So like that and like that. I like that, but not anyone think this is something dangerous, so maybe I have to add a little bit more obvious symbol on it. Maybe a warning. This can look good, but this is a bit too obvious. Like that, and with probably a little skull or something like this inside it. And something written. I think it's a bit more obvious now. So I have all these pattern things to do for making it look like it floats. But I will work a bit on that later. Now I want to add some more. And I will use this object also to as a good indicator for the distance. So I have my perspective grid here. So I can see how it's reducing the distance. The only things I don't like about this object is they had a sort of industrial design into this really fantasy scene. But they are also fun. So this little one looks good like this on the distance, but also looks a bit too visible. I have like a fog on this scene, and this is good that I'm on another layer because I want to reduce a bit with the eraser. Yes, and so I make it visible like that only. Okay, I will do a bit more work now on the water. And this is tricky, and I'm not really trained for good water effect, but I'm reading the comments at the same time. If you have other idea for this drawing, do not hesitate. There is I'm very happy to interact with the chat. It makes this live stream session a bit more special than my daily work of drawing on the page, with only my brain as interaction. So now I will put this little brush at 100% of opacity, and so I can add tiny full opaque little detail and also fix some edges like the roundiness of this eye. Maybe not 100% yet, just like that. I'll switch back to 100%. And so I try to put this little point of reflection. This is this that reflect on the eyeball. I have also a reflection on the bottom here. because the eyes of this creature are also a very focus point on this creature. Oh, Taupai. That's a very, very good idea. The tentacle. I will just add them quickly and then I will jump to the other. But I think it's good to even put some more drama into this illustration, even if it's a bit over the top. But that's the funny part of this illustration, to have this big fish not sure about this travel, this one bored, and a lot of problem everywhere that are happening. I think it's more funny even. So tentacle, very good idea. Just in the background like that. It's probably, I'll put them a bit more in the mist. So with a big eraser, I'm reducing a bit the value. And I will make obvious now it's tentacle, it's not weird big herbs. So just the shape right now, and then a bit of the glossiness. Because the material is very glossy, it reflects a lot of the light, even at this distance. Like that. So I'm not expert into this type of creature. They might have one in center and two like that, one in center and two like that. I'm a bit lazy to take reference now, and I also don't want to show on my screen some photos that are not my licensed under my credits or something. I can't show some quick search for image on Quant. I like. This is funny, in my opinion. This. If you have any other idea of something that can be dangerous for this scene, I would really like to know, because I think the more we will have some dangerous things surrounding the scene, the more it will look totally ridiculous and funny. And this belt still, yeah, maybe yes, better. I'm not sure from what side. Mirror on, mirror off. Yeah, so it's supposed to be on this side, but I prefer this side. Maybe because I'm a bit more used to read from this point of view, but anyway, I think it's a bit the same. I will read a bit the comment after the tentacle. Hey, any tips about how to draw more dynamic pose? I kinda struggle with that. Everything I draw ends up feeling too stable and frozen. You have to do a lot of little gesture drawing. It's just you take a new digital sheet of paper like that. You take a pencil and just you draw this type of stick character like that, and you try to find some good pose that looks maybe dynamic or something. It depends what you want to storytell, and then you flesh them and repeat the process and repeat, and you can do a lot of page like that. I even don't do them from reference, I do them from imagination, and it works pretty well. Sometimes I obtain good results. But it's related to anatomy, so you have also to work on your anatomy and then work on gesture, and then you will get better on anatomy, and then you will get better on gesture. It's like a ping pong of discipline, of category. Once you get better in anatomy, you get better in gesture, and when you get better in gesture, you get better in anatomy. It's like a never-ending circle. Make the mind glow inside so it will fit more into this fantasy world. Like that glow inside will be from this power source. That's a good idea. But I'm really afraid if I put something to glow too much on it, it will steal the focus point onto this. I still want this to be read first and then get this, because to get the context after, it's what makes it funny. So I will try maybe some low glowing green light, because green light always feel poisonous or something, so it can look a bit more like a problem. Oh, thank you for the brush in Krita 4.0. I have the feeling there is a bit too much light on the object, on the fish. Piece of wood and saddle. Oh yes, on this one. Ah, sure. That's a good feeling. I think it looks like if there is a sort of right now like a police officer that is lighting with something like that and say, yeah, police. Because yes, this part of wood is maybe too much in light. I will try to tone it down, so I will use the blending mode darken, and I don't want things to go more dark than this, so I pick this shadow, reduce it, and just I put that a bit more in the shadow. I just compare before, after. Yeah, this a little point of saturation that I like. This probably I can keep a bit here and here. Yeah, sure, it fixes. Thank you. What if the mean are from the tentacle? That can be a good storytelling things, but it needs a more panel. I don't think it's possible to show it on this illustration. Ah, that's good tips. You can swatch Google image which only certain listens. For sure, it can be. I will study that, because sometimes I want to do quick research of image. I'm not very big fan of Google image, but if I can restrict it to some license, it could be useful. Or maybe I will try to find a search engine that I can find some Creative Commons or public domain picture. Oh, it's dead fish bone floating on the surface. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, because I was trying to find something for this or here or here. Old pirate ship. That's a good idea, but it's very big and I don't have the room for maybe in the background that it would be very big to put that. But that's a good idea. Spooky vapor. I like the spooky vapor. I will do it. Did you always love art? Creating picture, yes. Because I just consider myself a designer of picture and probably entertainer with picture. I studied art and contemporary art and things like that, and this is not the same thing that when I do. I really like the story of art and contemporary art, modern art and everything, but I'm not this type of artist, so I always have a problem with the word art in general. More or less. Sorry. So spooky vapor, this was a good idea. And to make spooky vapor, I like to do something with speed painting for doing this type of effect, is to take a big brush and do a big dot like that. Then I had smaller dots, so I just take another brush that does something like that. So it just brings some material on the canvas, and then I can use this type of brush to smear, and I can just use it to smear like a smog or something. Smog. I usually like the rendering of it. This is a bit too wide, but I can change the color later. It's a bit too much up on the level, maybe like that. Maybe I can put them a bit more like that. Okay. I will put the blending mode into screen. So on white it's not visible, but maybe I can colorize them, reduce the opacity, and get a little color. That's maybe like that. And I will continue to just remove, because I don't want the for example, I want to see this part of the design because it's important to know how it moves. I think it works really well on the background here with the tentacle. So I will probably remove all the overlap for the mine, like that, and a bit like that. Yes, maybe this big mass, also the mist goes through the mist. Like that, maybe, yes. About this big mass, there is not a lot of reflection on the water, so I probably can try to fix it the lazy way. So I will just select a bit this and just try a little experiment. I copy everything, I paste, and come on, Krita, you can do it. I try to make a lazy reflection, like that first, like that, and saying lighten, There is only the part that are brighter that reflect. And then maybe I can put a filter on that, but it will not look really natural. I prefer to make this deformation myself, maybe. Maybe it's a bit too much reflective. I will try to reduce that. Just a tiny bit like that. Not over the mine. Yeah, just for the eyes, maybe. I just check before and with and without. It adds a little something, so I keep that. I will read a bit the oh yes, very okay is right. If you use the at David Revoy, I see it in red like that, and it's really good to attract my my attention, because it's hard to answer everything. Dastar War Guy, are your family also all French? Yes, and I'm probably the only one who speaks English. Who tries to speak English. No, I think my sister and my brother also speaks in English from the school. Fun fact, I recently found out that you drew the front page of the Shaman class in DM Guild, one of the most downloaded homebrew class in the site. Oh, I had no idea, but it's probably a Creative Commons artwork and someone reused it. That's very good. How often do you save? Every worry about crash? I don't have a lot of worry, because if you see my configuration, I have the autosave in background every 3 minutes, and as you can see, it's autosaving right now. So if I have a crash, autosave can recover. And about this, I'm still using Krita 4.00 because I found a bug in 0.1 where the autosave is failing, and I lost last week 40 minutes of work. So that's why I'm back to this version of Krita using the ape image. So yes, in this version the autosave works better for me. It works, it simply just works. And then I work with this save incremental version when I'm not doing comics. When I do comics, I just save because I still need the same file name, but I will show you what save incremental version does. It allows me to keep the step. So each time I do a save, as you can see, I keep the step of the previous painting. That's 001, 002, 003, 004, and this is the version we are now, the 004. If I press again save incremental version, Krita will auto save and add here the number 5. But I pressed this and I made no modification, so that's why Krita refused to save it. If I just blink a layer and do that, yes, now it's 5 and it's saved document. Oh yes, I will post this artwork on Pepper and Carrot, probably in the MISC category later. Not sure if it's a good wallpaper. I try to put it full screen. There is not a lot of detail on this one. I just switch back from full screen. At this point, I think I can remove the tool. I don't need the overview anymore. I will just keep a color selector, a big stack of layer, and I can just select the brush here. I will pick just a tiny brush like that, maybe at 72%. I can create a layer on top, then detail, and just fixing a bit some detail here and there, and add some signature on everything. But I thought this this live streaming would be about a speed painting, so I will not continue to detail it anymore. I think I crossed the 1 hour and 30 now, and this is the usual time budget I have for making a speed painting. No, this is not good detail. So I'm trying just to render a bit better all this metal stuff here. Oh, I have the chat. Have you ever made an animation? Only as a no, I made, but it what depends. Animation. It's I made some drawing animated for myself, and I did some art direction of movies like Sintel, or like concept art for movies or everything like that. But I never did a full animation by myself. It takes so much time. I think this one is a bit lost now. I will just add a bit of value on top. Just subtle. I still need to do some little bit post-composition for the color, because it's I think it can be improved. For this I will just merge all my stack. I will keep only 3 layers. So just a layer with and without, in case I want to remove stuff. Oh, this one, the root was without the perspective, so, and I keep the perspective. I think it's more minimal like that. I will save an incremental version, and I will duplicate and try to see with Oh, a question from Emily. Do you plan doing some masterclass in France, or have you done it already? I'm doing a masterclass every year at Capitole du Libre. It's in Toulouse. It's in November. So I think I will do it again next year. Not next year, this year, but in November. How about placing your keyboard on your side? Doesn't it take up a lot of space? I really prefer in front of me, because I'm used to also type on it to chat on IRC at the same time of painting. So if I put it on the side, I start to twist my spine every time I type, and it doesn't work. That's why I didn't really like it, the big Cintiq. I had the big Cintiq of Wacom, but I couldn't figure where to put this keyboard with it. Would there be a reflection of the mine also? Brayden, that's an excellent feedback. totally forgot about it because I'm talking, because I'm not really focused on the artwork, but sure, it looks weird that there is not a sort of shadow or sort of dark things from the mine. So I'm just trying to emulate it like that. We are not sure if it's the part underwater we are seeing or just a reflection, but I think it's important to get this little hint. No, I will not do that like that. And I will just open Gimmick because I really like this tool for doing color grading. I'll try to enlarge it a bit. Oh, I erased some parts, so now I need to flatten a bit the layer before. Oops, flattening. Start Gimmick. Ah, thank you for recovering my Windows geometry. So in the color, there is the color grading, and I really like because this is like a little laboratory for making some great effect. So you can control here the shadow, removing them or adding them, just the contrast of the artwork. A good thing for the saturation. Brightness, everything. It's nothing special. It's really classic. So here you have a little arrow to make it back to normal. Warm, cold. This is a good effect, always. So in this one I want just to put the gamma. I think it's a bit low and I want a bit more, something higher. And if you right click on Gimmick, you see it's turned to before and after. Just right click and you get the before after. It's really good to see how much progress you did. So just a bit of highlight. Yes, because I feel the original is a bit too dark. So, okay. It's subtle. It's not a lot, but I think it's really improved. I will just pick a big airbrush, press E for the eraser, and just erase a bit the corner because I like the corner to be dark. Maybe there is part that I like also to be dark, like this. Yeah, I think it's a bit better. Sorry. And I'm doing a copy again, and I will just put a little sharpening filter. So filter, enhance, sharpen. So it makes all the line very crispy, but too much. So that's why I made a duplicate and I will reduce it. So it's just deblur a bit the rendering. So yeah, you can see the sketchy nature of this artwork a bit better. And just before last touch, I will just look at the chat. Any advice on how to stop oneself focusing on detail when attempting speed painting? Just zoom back, look at the overall. Sorry for my voice. I didn't prepare myself a glass of water this time. I regret it. That will be a lesson for next time. Overview. and here you can just keep an eye on the overall of your artwork. You just have to see that if you share online your artwork, it will be seen at this size, maybe on Mastodon or on Twitter, on everything. Oh, sorry, I will pick just a glass of water. I have just 1 minute because I can't talk like that. Ah, that's... Whew. Sorry, this is the live streaming. So yes, keeping an overview and keeping in mind that the picture should work as a big first, and then getting into the detail is good, but it's just polishing. Could you do more tutorial for Krita? Or do you know where I can find some more? Thank you. You can find on my blog, but about doing more, I'm taking like 2 or 3 days to do one tutorial. It takes a lot of time for me. So I'm doing my best, but right now my priority is on making the next Pepper and Carrot episode. She looks like a red mage from Final Fantasy. Quite cute. Thank you, Ches. So maybe it's time to end this drawing. So I will try to put it on the source of Pepper and Carrot later. So maybe I can detach something, but I think if you want to find this drawing, you will find it later on Pepper and Carrot and on source, and it will probably be on... I think I will put it on Misc, because it's not really about the universe of Pepper and Carrot, but if I find time to polish a bit, I will put also on wallpaper. So just time to sign the artwork. This is the easiest thing of the world. Finally, what sense? This is on, this is off. Okay, so this is the original orientation. And up 04 2018. This is a bit too big, but I always do a bit too big. Reducing after. And putting the opacity a bit lower, like that, because this is just to remind that a human did it and not a robot. And yes, it's even hard to read, but it's just for the symbol of getting a signature on something. So thank you very much, everyone, for following this full 2-hour live streaming. If you want to join more discussion on IRC, you can find it on Pepper and Carrot. You go on the website and you go on community. And here you have all the link for getting in touch with IRC, Riot, From a Team, Telegram, and etc. If you want to find all the old live stream I did, you can go here, and there is a blog post about the live stream. And on this blog post, you have link about the full old episode on PeerTube. So do not hesitate, and thanks to Upai again. He is here on the live stream and also follow and also host the live stream. So many thanks. And if you like my effort to make a weekly live stream and my webcomic Pepper and Carrot, feel free to support or to put a thumbs up or everything, sharing and everything. Everything helps. So thank you very much, and see you next week. Goodbye.